Are you a liberal who just doesn't understand how to speak conservative? Or are you a conservative who gets frustrated when your liberal friends think you're speaking Chinese when you try to explain your beliefs? The problem may be that you're speaking different political languages. It may be English you're speaking, but for some reason we're not understanding each other. Today, we strive to translate the conservative language so we all can understand. When you're talking to a conservative, they're going to keep bringing up limited government. Why the heck would we want to limit our government? Isn't that stopping our government from doing what they're supposed to do? Well, it turns out that governments have done some bad things throughout history. Numerous governments have been responsible for genocides and ethnic cleansing, targeting specific ethnic, religious, or cultural groups. Governments have been involved in massacres and human rights violations against their own citizens or in conflicts with neighboring countries. Examples include the Tiananmen Square massacre in China in 1989 and the atrocities committed during the military dictatorships in countries like Argentina and Chile. Throughout history, governments have stifled dissent and oppressed political opposition through censorship, surveillance, arrests, and even torture. Totalitarian regimes such as North Korea and oppressive regimes in various countries have been notorious for such actions. From 1932 to 1933, the Soviet government implemented a policy of forced collectivization in Ukraine and other regions, resulting in widespread famine. Millions of people died of starvation, and some historians estimate that the death toll ranges from 3 to 7 million Ukrainians. The Soviet government executed a vast number of people, including political opponents, suspected spies, and those accused of anti-Soviet activities. While accurate figures are challenging to establish, historians estimate that the number of executions during Stalin's rule ranges from hundreds of thousands to millions. So when conservatives keep talking on and on about limited government, there may be a historical purpose for that idea. Also, Ronald Reagan said that government isn't the solution to the problem, government is the problem. Now, why would he say that? Doesn't government have all the power and resources to make our lives better? Well, the government doesn't have a mechanism to know when or why to do something. In a free market, price determines supply and demand, and scarce resources can be allocated according to supply and demand. The government doesn't have that when they try to provide services. No government can possess all the knowledge required to effectively plan and regulate economic activities. Therefore, any attempts by the government to plan or control economic activities would inevitably lead to inefficiencies and unintended consequences. That brings us to the next things conservatives keep ranting about. Individual liberty. Conservatives prioritize individual freedoms and personal responsibility. They believe that individuals should be accountable for their actions and should have the freedom to make choices without excessive government interference. Conservatives think that individual liberty empowers people to make their own decisions about their lives, career paths, and beliefs. It allows individuals to pursue their goals and aspirations freely, promoting a sense of self-determination and empowerment. Individual liberty fosters innovation and creativity. When individuals have the freedom to explore new ideas and pursue their passions, it fosters a culture of innovation and creativity. In societies with strong individual liberties, people are more likely to experiment, take risks, and create groundbreaking solutions and inventions. Individual liberty is closely linked to free market principles. In free market economies, competition thrives, leading to more efficient resource allocation, increased productivity, and economic growth. As people are allowed to engage in entrepreneurship and trade freely, it can lead to greater prosperity for the overall society. A society that values individual liberty is more likely to be accepting of diversity, different viewpoints, and lifestyles. Respect for individual rights and liberties promotes tolerance and coexistence, fostering a more harmonious and inclusive society. With individual liberty comes personal responsibility. When people are free to make their choices, they are more likely to take ownership of their actions and decisions. This sense of responsibility can lead to a more accountable and responsible society. Individuals who enjoy individual liberties are more likely to actively participate in civic life, including voting, engaging in public discourse, and advocating for causes they believe in. This active engagement is essential for a vibrant and healthy democracy. People tend to experience higher levels of happiness and well-being when they have the freedom to live life on their own terms. The ability to pursue personal goals and live according to one's values contributes to overall life satisfaction. Respecting individual liberties fosters a culture of peaceful coexistence, where people are more likely to resolve conflicts through dialogue and mutual understanding rather than resorting to violence or force. The next thing conservatives keep railing on about is traditional values. Conservatives support traditional social values and cultural norms. This can encompass opposition to abortion, same-sex marriage, and other societal changes that deviate from traditional values. Don't be surprised if they mention Jesus. Make sure you Google Jesus so you know the reference. Traditional values provide a shared set of norms and principles that can help create social cohesion and a sense of belonging within a community. They can foster a sense of identity and unity. That's why you see them with their American flags and loving America and all. America is part of their social cohesion and community. It's also why traditional values can provide a sense of continuity and stability across generations. By passing down shared values, customs, and practices, societies can maintain a sense of cultural heritage and identity over time. These values emphasize the importance of family, community, and interpersonal relationships. This focus can strengthen social bonds and support systems within a community. This can guide individuals in making decisions that align with their core beliefs and values. This alignment can lead to a greater sense of authenticity and personal fulfillment. So, when you talk about traditional values, let's remember that they're like grandma's secret recipe, tried, tested, and always bringing comfort to the soul. Just like a timeless classic, they add a dash of flavor to life's recipe, making every day a little more delicious. The next thing your conservative friend will obsess about is a strong national defense. Conservatives advocate for a robust military and assertive foreign policy. They prioritize national security and often favor a strong defense budget. Conservatives believe that the primary responsibility of the government is to protect the nation and its citizens. A strong national defense is seen as a crucial component of safeguarding the country from external threats, ensuring its sovereignty, and preserving its interests. I bet your conservative friend will keep harping on about peace through strength. They might even have a t-shirt with sayings like that. Conservatives often subscribe to the idea that a strong military presence and a clear commitment to defense deter potential adversaries from aggression. They believe that projecting strength and readiness can lead to greater stability and prevent conflicts from arising in the first place. They'll be the one who hold the support our troops signs. Why do they have those signs? It's because they express a deep respect and gratitude for the men and women serving in the military. They advocate for providing the necessary resources, equipment, and training to ensure the safety and success of the troops on the front lines. Beyond external threats, conservatives also emphasize the importance of being prepared for emergencies and natural disasters. They believe that a strong national defense includes disaster response capabilities to protect and support American citizens during times of crisis. A well-funded defense sector can stimulate technological innovation and create job opportunities in defense-related industries. Conservatives believe that investing in national defense can have positive economic impacts and contribute to technological advancements with broader applications. Finally, conservatives generally advocate for responsible fiscal policies, including lower taxes and reduced government spending. They often believe that reducing government spending is crucial for long-term economic stability and growth. Remember that thing about limited government we talked about earlier? Fiscal responsibility aligns with this belief by keeping government expenditures in check and avoiding unnecessary expansion of government programs. Conservatives argue that lower taxes allow individuals and businesses to keep more of their earnings, which can lead to increased investment, job creation, and economic growth. Besides, isn't it right that a person who works gets to keep what they worked for? Maintaining fiscal responsibility is seen as a means to achieve economic stability and reduce volatility. A balanced budget and responsible fiscal policies can help protect the economy from shocks and downturns. Running budget deficits and accumulating excessive debt can lead to higher interest payments, potential inflation, and dependency on foreign lenders. Fiscal responsibility aims to minimize debt to safeguard future generations from bearing the burden of today's financial decisions. And so, my friends, as we navigate the waters of political discourse, let us remember that engaging with a conservative is not just about winning arguments, but about finding common ground. Let us strive to bridge the divides, heal the wounds, and build a stronger nation together. As the great Winston Churchill once said, courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. So, let's have the courage to speak our minds with conviction and the wisdom to listen with an open heart. Together, we can create a symphony of ideas that harmonize our differences and lead us to a brighter future.